Marcelle Soviero, and tonight we're going to hop on the carousel as we do every week and talk about interesting things with interesting people. Tonight I'm delighted to have Marcelle Anastasio, who is the founder of Connecticut Virtual Assistants, and we're going to learn about sort of a whole new profession. So why don't you, welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what a virtual assistant's business is?
Sure. A virtual assistant is generally self-employed, and they work remotely, and they provide their clients with creative, technical, administrative services, sometimes social, from their home office.
Okay, so so a company would outsource to you. They might take certain projects and give them to you.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like in this economy that might be a kind of a popular thing to have going, because you're not hiring employees, you're almost going out and just getting the skill set that you need.
Yeah, I think for a business owner, just to talk about some of the benefits, I think that, you know, it's a great alternative to hiring in-house staff.
Yeah.
You know, many solo entrepreneurs, small businesses, they're not necessarily at the place where they're going to hire their first employee. Maybe they don't have an onboarding process, and they have their to-do list is growing and growing. So a virtual assistant is definitely a great alternative for them, flexible.
So tell us a little bit about the different things you do, like social media marketing, administrative, things like that. What are the kind of the hot things that you fill in for right now?
My company?
Yeah.
Okay. Right now we're kind of growing into a full service support team.
Okay.
But generally, I definitely think that the growing areas of virtual assistants is in social media, email marketing, definitely affiliate marketing, the types of marketing that generate, third-party revenue for companies. There's a lot of technical aspects to it. There's a lot of administrative, aspects to it. And, virtual assistants are usually really good at marketing and very good at technical. They're constantly learning new skill sets, and, it's definitely part technical, part administrative, and and everything gets done basically virtually. So you don't have to have a space for that person.
Right. So you're not hiring someone, you're not making a space for someone, yet as a small business owner, you have a lot of work to do, and you can basically take certain chunks and say, here, this is what I would like you to do.
Exactly.
And you mentioned social media, and that's a kind of a whole new world for a lot of business owners. So what are some of the things you do in that area specifically? What would, if I went to you to help in our social media efforts, what would you do?
Well, we work with clients who have never even set up a social media platform. So, if social media is constantly growing, a lot of people are even, it's very daunting for somebody who hasn't really ever started a social media profile yet, used it and posted on it. So we start with, setup. We can set up their entire social media platform. We can optimize an existing social media platform. So physically,
give us an example of some social media platforms for our readers who are not sure about that.
We try to ensure that because there's so many social media sites out there now.
Right.
We try to ensure that the actual social media networking site, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest.
Right.
We try to make sure that it's in line with their business, because you want to do well on a few platforms. You don't want to have every platform under the sun, because it also takes time to manage that.
Right.
So we basically go in. We have templates that we fill out that help us do the job very quickly. We'll go in, set up their entire profile, interlink them. We have graphic designers on staff that can do their graphic covers, set up, and then if they'd like to outsource the whole management of the platform, we also do that as well.
Do that. So you do as much or as little as the client
exactly.
really needs, which is a great opportunity for a business person, because there are these areas where you want to do everything, and there's these areas like maybe social media where you've never done it before, you don't know what you want, and you can sort of hire that out.
Exactly.
So, so what are sort of the top 10 reasons somebody would hire a virtual assistant these days?
I definitely say that, obviously having an endless to-do list. Like, as a business owner yourself, you know that there's something's always piling up. Not necessarily having enough hours to actually give one person. And then again, virtual assistants are, they're highly skilled people in different areas. So you essentially get a la carte services, and you can pick from those services to make that one partnership. You kind of can pick your services and roll it into a retainer. So it's definitely, if you don't yet have the time to give to a full-time employee,
Right.
you can partner with a virtual assistant firm. And if you have many areas that you need help in, you can pick from different areas and roll it into one.
Okay.
And you don't pay a virtual assistant for employee benefits.
Right.
They actually, only charge their clients for the actual time they spend working on the projects. So
Right.
if your employee is sitting there on Facebook or Twitter and spending time not working on actual work, you don't have to worry about that with a virtual assistants get things done very quickly. And they
it's
maneuver.
all managed and
Yeah, they maneuver. They have systems and processes. They usually have multiple clients, and it's about working fast but efficient.
Right, right. Okay, so there's really a double benefit. I mean, it's those situations where an employer doesn't have enough work to say this is a 40-hour-a-week position, and there's also the situation where there's just not enough money to hire a person and benefits and all that. So we outsource to a virtual assistant. Has this been going on a long time, or is virtual assistants a new trend?
I think virtual assistants has been around about 12 years.
Okay.
It's been around for about 12 years. I've heard of entrepreneurs, using virtual assistants. The field blew up when Timothy Ferriss, he's a New York Times bestseller, and he likes to work from all over the world. And he started talking about how he outsourced this, how outsourced that, and the term VA came about.
Okay.
And he was talking about the benefits, how he saved so much time for him so that he could focus on revenue generating activities for his business and have all this extra free time.
Right.
So sometimes you might need more than one virtual assistant.
Right.
With a full service VA firm, sometimes you get everything you need in one company.
How does that work with your company? What is the structure? Are you on your own, or are there others with you?
I started off on my own 2 years ago, and now we're growing into a multi-VA firm.
Okay.
So when clients do come to us, we train our VAs. We have a select, services that we offer, and we train our VAs anywhere from administrative to online business management to social media marketing and graphic design. That's and sales support. That's kind of the areas that we're specializing in.
Okay.
And so the VA will, provide that administrative support for you. So she's working for CT Virtual. She may not be me. She may be somebody else. But she'll have 1 or 2 or 3 clients.
So you have subcontractors.
Yes.
In a certain way, and partnerships with folks, so that you can really fill in the holes of whatever the client needs.
Yeah, I've personally been trying to meet the demands of the market, because now it started 12 years ago. Now it's a very competitive industry. And so to be able to grow my firm, I had to grow in
your services
and add people. Yes.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the other reasons? So, certainly to hire in for a specific skill set and to not have to hire someone else. What are some of the other? I think there's like 8 or 10 things that.
There's many benefits. I think along the same lines, salary is the biggest expense for an employee, for a company.
Right.
And hiring the wrong employee for your first employee can be a business destroyer.
Right.
So you can try out a company like a virtual assistant and do like a month trial to see if it works.
Right.
Every virtual assistant is different based on the skills that they've had in the corporate world, what they've done. I mean, the industry is growing, that there's actually lawyers who now offer virtual lawyer assistants, where you could basically get a lawyer on retainer. She's a virtual assistant, but she's a lawyer. She provides legal services, advice. She can do contracts. So it all depends. Not having space for somebody is definitely a reason.
Right.
Only having 5 hours of work, let's say a week or even a month. That's where really a virtual assistant comes in and partners with you.
Right.
5 hours a month is great for a virtual assistant, because every month she delivers those 5 hours to you, and she has other clients between 5, 10.
All that. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons. Now it's more about meeting the demands of the market, what clients need. So you kind of have to not offer different services to different, you have to kind of hone your craft. And in honing your craft, you really have to go after the clients that need your services. So packaging your services to clients is
a big piece of it.
Yeah, is a big piece of it.
And is the sweet spot for virtual assistants small businesses or any size business, or
I know that businesses like Google do use virtual assistant firms.
Wow.
Google, Amazon, those are large companies. They're not necessarily my demographic because they probably hire very large VA firms because there are those out there that have 100 VAs that work for them.
Okay.
And maybe their price point might be a little bit better because they outsource it, a lot of it to India and, you know, and there's a lot of qualified people. It's just the margin there is a lot better.
Right. So your particular firm is more the sweet
we're
spot
U.S.
is,
based.
Right. So all the work is done in the United States.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So how did you get into this? Okay. What is your background?
My background is marketing and advertising. I worked in an account management, media planning, project manager roles for outdoor, print, interactive media. I kind of fell into the industry, or the industry sort of fell into my lap in 2008, early 2009, when the industry was, not the industry, but the market was kind of failing. I had lost my job in New York. So I was struggling to find a permanent job, and I started contracting for various businesses. A few months here, a few months there. A lot of it was on site, and then I had a few jobs working from home. So although I was busy, I still was struggling to find that stability that permanent placement does give you.
Right.
At the same time, I read the book by Timothy Ferriss, and like a light bulb went off, and I was like, wow, you know, this is a business that I can start myself. So originally it was just me. I packaged what I did in the corporate world and was successful at doing for 12, 15 years. And I did administrative work as well. I've always supported somebody. There's always somebody, you know, but I've also worked on very technical things. So kind of packaged my services. You know, at first we built a very unique website. It was, you know, a very small website. We needed what we needed at that time. And then our client base just started growing.
And then as the demand got larger and they wanted things that you personally couldn't give, that's where you grew into sort of the outsourcing and not outsourcing, but partnerships with other folks.
Yeah, there's certain services like graphic design that we partner with other firms to offer.
Okay, so that's a great benefit too, because you as the small business person aren't going out trying to find a web designer, you're going to one person.
And we have our own onboarding process too. We've built our own Wiki site. A lot of virtual assistants have to work quickly. Everything's automated. So we've built our own training site so that when I do bring on a new sub, she's trained in all the areas she wants to work, whether it's WordPress or admin.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what you mean by onboarding? You mean training new people to come in and work for you? So there's sort of a set of criteria that, because they have to meet a certain standard, of course, because they're working for your firm.
Yes.
So you've sort of automated that a little
Exactly.
bit? Okay, that sounds great. So tell us a little bit, what is the difference between a virtual assistant and a consultant? Because it sounds like there's some overlap there.
There definitely is. I would say most solo VAs are definitely consultants.
Kind of consultants.
Yeah, and most VAs have that in their, you know, their titles. It'll say like, you know, virtual assistant, marketing consultant, to kind of like give you an idea of what area they specialize in. And yeah, typically they are consultants, or they even come from a consulting background.
Okay, so there is some crossover there.
Definitely.
That's how I would think it would be. What do you see in terms of the growth in this field? Do you see more people outsourcing to virtual assistants? Are we at the beginning of this, or what's the trend?
I think that it's exploding. I feel that it's exploding. I've been reading a lot of articles. Fortune 500 companies are talking about the use of virtual assistants, and then the industry is on its way up because of companies like Google talking about how so there's been a lot of marketing about the field. I think that there's 3 areas of the field. There's the solo VA, there's the larger VA firm that I'm growing into, and then there's the large like virtuals that, you know, can accommodate a company like Google, which wouldn't be my target market.
Okay. So how would Google use a virtual assistant firm?
They outsource a lot to VA firms. Yeah, I could see their testimonials all over the internet about using virtual assistant firms. For some of the executives at Google, use it for administrative support. You know, there's a lot of crossover between personal assistants, concierge type of work, and like strict marketing work.
Right, okay.
So, you know, a lot of VAs will offer simply admin, or admin mixed in with personal assistant, it's a great opportunity for like a business owner to really carve out what they're looking for. Like make a list of what you need, and anything that can be handled in the office can basically be handled, remotely.
So that's the other interesting part, which is a little different than consultants as I see it, is you are not going and staying on site at the clients for the most part. You work virtually. That's
Yes,
part
we use
of
our own equipment.
So how do you manage that with a client? In some cases, my guess is you've never actually met your clients. You're literally working over the computer.
Yes, I have many clients that are not, not in. I have a few clients in Connecticut, but I have clients from all over, and we do Skyping. So we use project management software to manage our workflow because we have to.
Right.
So we have clients that get their own workspace, and we work together in that project management software so that we can expedite everything and everything's clearly in there. We also use Skype for meetings. You can do in person, or you can just put your picture up there.
Right.
If your client calls you at 8:30 a.m.
Right. And you're in your pajamas.
Yeah, and you're in your pajamas. We have, multi meetings are different. We have like 3 or 4 people in a Skype meeting.
Okay.
And you have, 4 different pictures, and we're all working together. Sometimes it's their development team, the virtual assistant, our team, and then the company owner, and we're all working together. So it's definitely, I love it. It's a great.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you actually share screens to show people how to set up there? So I'm looking at my computer, and you're sort of controlling the computer? So
we don't control computers, but if we need to teach or coach a client on certain things, we'll do screen sharing. So screen sharing, project management tools, Skype, phone, fax, and computer. That's basically what you need to start and to run a virtual assistant firm. And then if you're offering specific areas of affiliate marketing or social media marketing, you're going to need some type of platform to manage that as well.
And you do your billing sort of like a lawyer, like by the hour
essentially,
kind of thing?
Essentially the same way. We use time tracking system.
Okay.
It's integrated actually with our project management system.
Okay.
So most clients work on retainer. So if a client wants to work 5 hours a month, we bill them every month. All the work that we do, we have apps that follow us wherever we go on the internet. So we know exactly where we were per client, per workspace, and how much time we spend on it. Then there's areas where you can actually go in and edit if you've done some things offline.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's very systematic.
It's very systematic. We build down to the minute, and
wow.
I think that's one of the benefits, that if a client only has 30 minutes that week that they need help over 5 different things, they still have 4.5 hours left of their retainer. So
wow, that's interesting. Is that hard to manage on the back end for you if you've got 10 clients and they're asking for 30 minutes of your time?
It can be difficult and challenging at times, but with the software we have, we wouldn't be able to do without it.
That really, is that something that you developed, or that's part
Nope.
of, is there a central group for virtual assistants, like an association?
The project management system that we use, the bookkeeping systems we use are used by many companies.
Not just virtual assistants?
No, yeah.
Okay. Is there an association of virtual assistants?
Yes, there's a few. There's the International Association, IVAA, of Virtual Assistants.
Interesting.
There's REVAs, because real estate agents use virtual assistants for almost everything.
Really?
Yes,
so that's a really big industry.
Creating virtual tours, doing their social media. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So there's literally industry-specific cutouts almost.
There are. Social media marketing, administrative can kind of,
Across the gamut.
Yes, and that could serve any small business. But when it comes to real estate, it's a very niche area. And the person who starts their VA firm usually has real estate experience previously.
Are there other niche areas like that?
I would say definitely, mompreneurs. That's kind of like a niche area. Authors.
Okay.
Authors definitely use virtual assistants.
They want to be writing and having you do the promotion and all that
setting
great
up their
stuff.
author websites, connecting all their social media, maybe starting, affiliate marketing program for them. Maybe I find one of the biggest areas that they use us is for, getting speaking engagements. And
Right, that makes sense.
It's all labor-intensive work that they don't want to be doing themselves.
Right.
And to have somebody with that experience it's key.
So why would I hire a virtual assistant versus, say, a PR firm? because you have more services?
You may even have a PR firm on staff, and the virtual assistant will work with the PR firm. PR firms do charge a lot more than virtual assistant firms.
Okay.
So you need that strong marketing person, and you need to rely on your PR firm for more focused, strategic, analysis. And so basically, the marketing administrative work would go to the VA, and they would work with your PR firm's, overall scope that they're providing you as far as.
So it sounds like in terms of selling your services to clients, there's not a lot of competition, because if they have somebody in-house, you'll work with them. Mm-hmm. If they don't have anyone at all, you'll be that person.
Yes.
What makes a virtual assistant not get the business in a case?
It definitely has to do with their skill set, the business owner's personality. Mm-hmm. There's so many qualified and very smart virtual assistant firms out there. Those are the ones that survive, that deliver, basically, the best services in the industry, know what they're talking about, know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But the business owner also has to gel with the virtual assistant, because it's basically your right-hand person in many areas of your business, not just the administrative, Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if you essentially, as a business owner, had 15 hours, you might have an on-site person.
Okay.
But we're online business, like we have 2 clients that we do OBM. We essentially manage their other virtual assistants. We've actually found them virtual assistants to work at a lower rate, and we manage all their projects.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. What are some of your challenges? You own this business, you service a lot of clients. What are the challenges involved in it? Is it the technology, getting the business, keeping the business? What is it?
I think just as any business owner, I've struggled to package my services. Now I'm starting to get an idea of what our niche is. I can literally see the growth that we've had over the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. So it's basically communicating our packages, clearly via our website, making sure that we're speaking to our target market properly, mm-hmm. and that they see value, and building, our services. And what's great about a VA is that you can basically kind of like a la carte, pick what you need and roll that into a package. Mm-hmm. Not everything is done on retainer, like web design and graphic design and writing. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, you can basically pick from a menu of services. So it's clearly communicating that to our clients. And
right. And do you find yourself, if somebody needs something that you're not staffed for, that you go out and find that person? Is that part of it, or you sort
I've
of
had
stick
on occasion where clients have asked me to do recruiting, which is not my specialty.
Right.
But they need somebody to do something. So we've done that for them.
Mm-hmm. But that's not your core.
No.
It's not about scrambling about and finding someone.
But sometimes the lines do get blurred a little bit. And as a VA owner, you should definitely manage your clients' expectations, because you can't be everything to everyone.
To everyone, exactly.
And as soon as you go down that path, that's kind of when you're entering in an area that's not
your expertise necessarily. Yeah. Okay. So what is the exciting part about being a VA? There's a lot of folks coming out of school and wanting, the freedom. It sounds like there's a lot of freedom in terms of carving your own time and things like that.
At first, there was a lot of freedom because I didn't have, a Rolodex of clients. So yes, I did have that flexibility. I had like 5 or 7 clients when we initially started. I could leave the house and do things once in a while and have some downtime. Not so much anymore. I'm working.
Well, that's where you want to be at, I guess.
I'm working full time, trying to grow the firm, to a multi-VA firm, and the growing process. We've definitely gone through growing pains, but.
So, what are you excited about?
I'm excited about the path that we're going in. I'm really excited about. I mostly love working with all the clients I have. Mm-hmm. I'm working with strong women, strong mm-hmm. business owners. I would say about 85% of my clients are women. Mm-hmm. So I've sort of been in their shoes, or I'm kind of in their shoes, except my job is to be their right-hand person.
To make them successful.
Mm-hmm. And I've learned so much from my clients. So it's the relationships I've built, the path that I see that we're going into, developing our own proprietary platforms, and there's just a lot going on, but it's exciting.
That makes sense. So when would somebody I mean, it must be hard then at some point they do hire someone, right? They get these people, their businesses grow, and I guess that's when you stop.
And that's so if I was going to go back to your question, like the competitive of the industry and how the retention of keeping your clients, you know, because that's, you know, you might be providing support for 5 months, and then your whole goal is to help your clients grow.
Right.
And they grow, and they're like, now I need somebody on site.
Right.
I've seen that happen many times, and I've kind of curved our services so that we still stay on board with them by growing the services that we offer. You know,
fit another
an
area.
administrative assistant wouldn't or a marketing assistant wouldn't necessarily have the experience that we bring, you know, right off, you know. So, yeah.
So just to close, we're running out of time, but so for the folks out there who might want to try this, what is the skill set that you need to be a virtual? What are the core competencies that you see you would need?
I definitely think somebody right out of college, you know, if they're struggling to find a job, would be to reach out to other VAs and ask to subcontract.
Right.
It's a great way to get your feet in the door, because a lot of VAs, you know, they start growing and they need some help, and that will give a, you know, another potential VA, assistant VA, a chance to get and learn social media, digital media,
so
administrative.
it's just this hands-on work, and then you can go from there.
And
so
a lot of experience and great training.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you
you
much for being with us. Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to bring up? Or
I think
we covered
it,
everything? Good, terrific. Well, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
We wish you luck with
Thank
your
you.
firm and growing it, and we will have you on again soon.
I look forward to it.
Thank you. Okay, we're good. Goes fast, right?